So here we go. Here we go, man. The matchup really one of the most anticipated matchups of this season. If I'm being real, this is one of the most anticipated matchups outside of Phoenix and the Warriors matchup. This is probably the second biggest one, and I think it's a little overhyped. Like I don't even think I'm being biased. If I'm being real, I think they're overhyping this. I think the Warriors will not obliterate them, but just outplay them the whole series, and I'll get into that. But what's going on, guys? It's me, and I'm back with a preview video to the game tomorrow. It's the game's at 12. Others it's at 3:30. So 12:30 or 3:30. So hey, I'm gonna give you a quick preview what my thoughts are, and yeah, here we go. So Grizzlies just won. They get 1 day off. Really, pretty much got 1 day off. Then they're playing us, but the Grizzlies do have home court. That is a big key, and I saw some things in that series that really scares me a little. I will say that Brandon Clark. Oh yeah, he's crazy. He's different. He is different, man. Brandon Clark's different. Desmond Bane is definitely really the two X factors of that series was Desmond Bane and Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark was probably the best bench player in that series. He probably won the best bench player in that playoffs. Like, he was the X factor of the whole playoffs, like the best X factor, because without him, they're not winning that series. I think they actually do probably lose in 5 to the Timberwolves, because without his offensive rebounding, they don't win. They don't win game 3. They don't win game 5. So yeah, they would have lost that series. Yeah, but you know what? Ja, he really cannot. When you double him hard, oh man. Stop this. I don't know what that is. All right, there we go. But I will say, Ja, when you double him right, like he can't do. He's really stuck. I think they do have shooters around them, but are you really counting on Dylan Brooks to hit a bunch of threes? Like, he did that game because he was hot in the first, but then he kind of cooled down, and he can get really cold. Not Desmond Bane, but Dylan Brooks, if I say Dylan Brooks. It was Dylan Brooks. He is really cold, or he can be really hot. Like, there's no middle with him. And they take bad shots. They're just not good in the half court. But if you double Ja, he just gets completely taken out the game. Like, he had 14 points and 11 assists last game. He was pretty much Chris Paul last game. And you cannot let him facilitate either, because he pretty well. The Timberwolves, they just were not a high IQ team. Like, the Warriors, they're a championship level IQ team. Like, they're gonna absolutely expose their weaknesses and then destroy them on the other end. Like, on the defense, they're gonna expose them on offense, and they're gonna destroy them on defense, because I've seen little moments in the series where the Grizzlies would get kind of like confused with the ball movement. Like, the few times the Timberwolves moved the ball, I felt like the Grizzlies, they just couldn't guard it. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's different. Like, and they're going to a series with us where we move the ball a lot. And the Grizzlies, they haven't seen the Warriors at full health. Even last year in the play-in, they didn't see Clay. Poole wasn't who he was. The Grizzlies we didn't face them full health either at their full strength too, or how they're playing now. But that last series, well, even though the Timberwolves have length, they weren't smart. They weren't smart in using the length, or and they just couldn't close games. Like, this team can close games. They showed me that really 3, 4, and 5. Well, outside of the Kerr play, they were going to close that game out and end that series. But once they can close games, Steph Curry can close games. Klay Thompson can close games. Like, Draymond Green, he knows how to close games. Those guys know how to close games. Can Poole close games? I've seen him hit clutch shots in that regular season. I've seen him get clutch shots in that play-in last year. So I believe in him. Wiggins, he had a clutch shot in game 3. So these guys on the Warriors know how to close, and they're not giving up a big lead. This is not the 15 to 19 era where it was like, oh, okay, all right, we lost the game, all right, we'll just win the next one. Like, this is actually, these guys are serious. They want to win every game. They know this is possibly sad to say, a final chance, like a final chance at a ring. Even though I don't believe that. I think we can win next year as well. I think they can win next year as well, but like they don't want to take any game for granted. They want the rest. They want the time, and I think they come in and steal game one because the Grizzlies have a small turnaround after an emotional series where they've had to come back every single game. They've had to come back almost every single game outside of game two. They have been down in almost every game outside of game two. And man, they go down to us. That is a loss. I'm being serious. That's a loss because the Warriors will keep putting pressure on them. No 26 to run it, 1 to run it. It's happening in the playoffs. Warriors are not allowing that. The timeouts will be called on time at the right spots. Curry is not allowing Ja Morant to go off. He will call a timeout. Like Ja, he knows how to get aggressive at the right times. So I will say that even though at 14 he had a quick 6 points where it was like, oh dang, they're back in the game now. Like he can do that. But they can stop that. And the Warriors have Gary, they have Wiggins, they have it's another guy. They have obviously Draymond. They have Clay who can be on them momentarily. Like Gary's gonna have big minutes in this series, but you know what? It's also some keys in the series for the Grizzlies. Like, is Jaren Jackson gonna foul out? Is Dylan Brooks? He might foul out trying to guard. Like, I'm just wondering how it's gonna be called because it's like, you know what? I think they're gonna let him get away with a lot of bull, like they always do. They always let them just foul him off the screens. Like that's all Dylan Brooks does. He just fouls, and it's not even defense with Curry. Every time he plays Curry, it's a foul. I'm like, and then Curry cooks him every time. It's actually hilarious. He cooks him every time, and I think Curry averages 36 points per game versus the Grizzlies. Outside of the last game he played, where he was kind of coasting in that after, hey. I think Curry's going to have an amazing series because of who it is. And after he said in the plan last year, you don't want to see us next year, and we're playing the team that beat him, oh yeah, I think he's going to go off. And then Dylan Brooks is always an irritant, so he's definitely going to have Steph go off. Just like he's going to do just like how he did Kevin Porter Jr. against the Rockets. He's just going to go psycho Steph, just like Kalina says. And I think that's going to be Steph's series for sure. Another Steph series. He's got 33 that series. And I also think they can't guard the ball movement. Oh, I already said that. I think I already said that, but that's another thing that I said. I don't think they can guard the Warriors ball movement. I think that's a big thing. And then, yeah, but the one thing that does concern me in this series is that we cannot let them get in the fast break. That is probably it's two priorities in this series. Offensive rebounding, which the Warriors are not good. And that's going to be hard. Because Brandon Clark, we gotta flop for those what's gonna make it seem like he's going over the back. Because that's one of the chances we got. And they do not let him get in the fast break. Because that's an automatic bucket. Every time they get in the fast break, it's automatic bucket, man. Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, obviously he's gonna dunk the ball, man. Like they will just finish in the transition. Like you have to keep them in the half court. They are the 22nd ranked half court offense. And they didn't look good versus the Timberwolves. Like the Timberwolves, they just did stupid. Their rotations were horrible. Their defense is so bad. There's no way they were the 7th ranked defense. Oh, they were the 7th ranked defense. No, they weren't the 7th ranked defense no way they were the 7th ranked defense in the playoffs. That's impossible. I don't even believe that because they gave up so many leads. I don't believe that. They gave up 2 25-point leads in a game. Like who does that? And how do you get down 25 points? That's what really makes me think we're going to, beat them in 4 or 5. And that's my prediction. I think the Warriors win in 5. Maybe 6 if, something crazy, they should have a horrible shooting night. And the Warriors have a horrible shooting night. But I think they win in 5 because, the Grizzlies, they always, in that series alone, every game, really almost every game, the Grizzlies came out flat. They came out flat, and they let the Timberwolves just absolutely dominate them, and then they try to make then the Grizzlies will make a late push and win the game. You're not going to be able to do that against us, against the Warriors. You're not going to be able to do that. That's not smart. That is not smart. That is a bad idea. And what else? What's a factor? one of the X factors in this series is obviously the rebounding. A player X factor is possibly Kuminga in this series if he plays, because he is athletic. He is I think it might be a breakout series for him. I think it might be, and I think he could be a great piece in this series. I still think we win in 5 either way, but he could be a big piece, and it could really give him a lot of confidence in that Suns series, which I believe the Suns will beat the Mavs. Not easily, but I think they'll beat them because the Mavs are a great team, great defensive team. But yeah, so yeah, team defense is going to be huge this series for the Warriors. It's just team defense. Probably playing a boxing one on Ja, putting Gary Payton in the middle of that. Gary Payton's probably going to average 25, 28, maybe 30 minutes per game this series, because like we can't just Looney has to stay out there and put a body on them, and Kuminga's going to take minutes from Draymond, so Draymond won't be playing 40 minutes. So we'll see. I think the Warriors win game 1 because of their rest, but game 2, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But if I think game 1 they're gonna win and steal home court. So, in my final prediction: Warriors in 5 games versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies put up a fight probably 3 of the 5 games, but the Warriors will close them out in 5 in Memphis in the series and get ready for the winner of the Suns or Mavs, which I think is the Suns. But Steph will have a great series. Poole will have a little down-to-earth series, probably give average 20, just like he did in the last series, even though his point production went down because of the elbow. But I think he'll average 20. I think Klay will have a big series because Desmond Bane, he's not running around like he doesn't do what Klay does like that. He's not that endured. But also a big key is Otto Porter Jr. That's another guy that needs to step up. I know he does everything else, but he needs to score. He needs to hit his open threes, man. Because it was a play last game where he was wide open. He could have given the Warriors, I think, a 5-6 point lead. But if he had hit a corner 3 in front of the Nuggets bench, but he didn't hit it. So instead of it being a 5-point lead, it was a 2-point lead. Or a 7-point lead, it was a 2-point lead because he didn't hit the 3. So that's another guy. Like, if we get him, like, that series really is over in like 4. I hope we do end it in 4, so we get it in front of I was gonna say Oracle, in front of Chasen. That'd be nice. But yeah, they're gonna come out with a fight in game 2. I think Warriors, not easily, but they win game 1. Like a hard-fought game 1 win. It's weird that it's only 1 day off in between game 1 and game 2. Then it's a 3-day break in between games 2 and 3. But hey, whatever. That's cool that's good for the Warriors. So, my prediction: Dubs in 5, Warriors in 5. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos on the channel, and Warriors in 5, and that was my prediction. I'll see you guys later. Peace.